Good morning, my name is Alexis. Today I will be telling you guys about a study conducted by a couple of scientists from the Netherlands, I believe, that shows the aggression and affiliation during social conflict in pigs. So the ethics involved in the study that were carried out in strict accordance to the European Guidelines for Accommodation and Care of Animals. The protocol was approved by the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee of the Wageningen University. For the methods, 384 total pigs were collected. They were housed in 64 pens and studied over 4 batches. They were offsprings of 64 2-pig 20 sow, a style of, or not a style of, but so essentially means it's a verb to plant, of planting something. And 24 tempo boars. So the two pigs 20. What that means, it's a parent sow, which gives rise to high, fertile, high quality piglets. And the tempo boars are just boars that are known for being robust, strong, healthy, fast growing, vitality of its progeny. Really. Pigs were housed in groups of 6, 3 females and 3 castrated males. Half of each group was housed in barren pens, and the other half was contained in enriched pens. Each pen had a single space feeder and a nipple drinker. They conducted a regrouping test, which pretty much from each pen, 2 familiar pigs were relocated into an unfamiliar pen, joined by 2 other pairs of pigs also originating from 2 different pens. Pigs were the 2 familiar pigs that were chosen as to represent the familiar. They were marked by numbers on their back to help identify which pair was which. After 24 hours, the pigs were returned to the original pen, where some of them had fresh skin lesions, and they were immediately recorded because it could be due to stress or, as we will later see, aggressiveness. Spatial distribution. This was also it was data gathered for spatial distribution. It was obtained from the video footage that was available from the regrouping test. Every hour from the moment that all the pigs had entered the pen, a screenshot was made. However, it was only made if 4 out of the 6 pigs were lying down. And yeah. There was also something known as a principal component analysis. This of 10 variables, 4 showed significant correlation above 0.30, and due to this, a PCA was used to analyze the data. And so let's move on to our results. Behaviors that were analyzed: inactivity, aggression, and social nosing. The pigs also displayed a show of familiarity. Pigs stayed in close proximity to the pigs they were familiar to, and kept away from the ones that weren't familiar to. This graph right here shows the familiarity. Gonna be the death of me. Distance till at least 24 hours after encounter. Showing the distance between between familiar pigs and their average distance to the 4 unfamiliar pigs over the course of 24 hours after regrouping. PCA. The PCA resulted in 3 factors with an agent value, which Let's just delete that. Okay. In this graph, it shows the factors extracted by the principal component analysis of variables recorded on individual pigs. So pretty much, factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, it shows the most predominant things in each factor. So in factor 1, skin lesions, body weight, and the social nose giving that was very poor, and inactivity, was very predominant in that factor. Factor 2, aggressiveness was very high, very, very high. And then in factor 3, we could see a definite change in the haptoglobin. Enriched housing conditions also showed that pigs would stray from one another. So pigs in pens that were enriched with a deep litter of straw and wood shavings kept a larger distance to familiar and unfamiliar pigs than those in barren pens. And here we can see this in table 2. We can see the average distance to familiar pig was higher in these both cases right here. However, pigs in enriched pens only spaced further away from each other than pigs in barren pens during batches with a maximum ambient temperature around 25.5. And that shows right here. In this case, 21.5 is like around here, and it shows that that's where it was the highest. And yeah. It also shows the effects of barren and enriched housing on the distances between pigs. So what did we learn? Essentially, pigs clearly distinguished between familiar and unfamiliar pigs over the 24-hour period after mixing, where they remained closer to the familiar pig. The results also highlight that reduced aggression does not necessarily equate to reduced social tension, because as we can see in factor 1, we do have a very low aggression given and received compared to the other ones. Yet, it has the highest skin lesions, which means that, but still, stress could possibly play a big factor in it as well. Thank you.